Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Pick Up the Truth. I hope y'all are doing well this evening. Now, tonight we're going to take a look at the latest video that Mag the Bitter Programmer has created about myself. And we're going to see if there's any truth in it. Most of it's deceptions, I can tell you already. And it's hard to believe. When I came on YouTube, I honestly thought I was going to be able to find truth. And I'm sure there are a couple genuine channels such as myself and such as Brother Shizzle. We try to bring you truth as much as we know it. But there's a lot of channels out there on YouTube that aren't interested in giving you truth. They're more interested in deceiving you with the lies they create. Because the lies are powerful. And that's something we have to realize. The lies that people create have the ability to control our actions. If they're master manipulators at the masonic language that we were all forced to learn, and yes, it is an unnatural language built on deception and built to divide ourselves from each other. Any natural language created from nature that we used to naturally use was based in truth, because humanity is really truthfully natural. We're all natural beings. Our bodies are natural, designed to live off the natural land that was created for us, and to live from the natural resources. And I'm not talking about the stuff the chemicals they force us to eat in this unnatural system. I'm talking about the plant-based life that was created to nourish our bodies naturally from creation itself, from the land that should rightfully be ours. But we're going to... Why it's bad to follow so-called truthers like Mag the Bitter Programmer. Because when we start our independent quest for truth, we're searching for truth for ourselves, so we can pass down to our family. But somehow Mag, the Bitter Programmer, has gathered together almost like a cult-like following, and he programs these people with the deception he feeds them. And this is why it's important, these people, they call themselves a family, but they don't understand and they can't see that the brother that's the head of this family is deceiving them, because they have put their total belief in him, their blind belief. They put this brother completely over themselves. Like many of us used to when we had our idols, either in sports or in Hollywood. You had your Hollywood actors that you used to want to be like, that you used to want to emulate because you looked up to them. You know, it's the same thing. he's he's getting us to follow false idols, and he's making himself an idol himself, and he puts himself above your mind, because ultimately, if you're searching for truth and you've come to YouTube independently to search for truth, you should never get involved in a group, because that group is going to want to have a group mentality, instead of honestly looking for truth independently. They're going to want to have a group mentality, and that mentality is going to be usually somebody thinking they're right about something, and actually it's a deception that they're programming one another with. And you've got division flying around everywhere in the group, and you've got deception flying around everywhere in the group, because one person thinks this is right, another person thinks this is right, and they're both deceptions. So, this is why it's important not to say you can't get together with your brothers and sisters and talk openly and honestly about truth, because that's how we learn. But we have to understand the world that we're enslaved in. We are all enslaved in this Masonic world. And the language we've been forced to learn from a baby is proof of that. This unnatural language that they have us communicating with each other. They teach us how to have power in the lies that this language creates, and that's not natural, guys. We know truthfully we've been taught an unnatural language that deceives and that divides. I mean, to hell with their one world order or new world order or one world government. Hell, we were born in a Masonic world. We were taught a Masonic language. That's unnatural. We were already duped before we started. And they did the same thing to our parents. Now, not to say if you find a truth community and a couple truth channels that are honest and open-minded about trying to find the one and only truth and to do away with everything that deceives us, because these deceptions control us. And who wants that, guys? I mean, really, who wants to be controlled mentally? Who wants to be controlled physically? Do you? I mean, put everything else aside. You want your mental freedom and you want your physical freedom to be your own. That's a given. So why should we allow ourselves to be put under a spell of these so-called truthers that actually deceive us? Like Mag the Bitter Programmer and various other, the majority of them on YouTube are doing the same thing, deceiving you in one way or another. And we can't keep using the same tired old excuse. Well, you can get a piece of truth from this guy, you can get a piece of truth from that guy, but the majority of it is bullshit, deception to control who you are and control your actions, because you're putting your faith in everything. And they get you to do that. They get you to worship them like they're an idol. They get you to believe in them. You have to, because Otherwise, they wouldn't have that power over you to control you with any deception they choose. So, let's get started. Break down this video and see what deception we can find that Mag the Bitter Programmer is programming our minds with.
Yeah, now we have this sodomite right here on screen, the one that been running off at the mouth talking.
Now, right away, he starts out with the sodomite. You know, Mag the Bitter Programmer, he's always using these labels that the Masonic ones created for us. These labels in hatred, a sodomite. Okay, where does the word sodomite come from? Well, it originates from Genesis 19. And wow, look at that. Wouldn't you know it? He's programming you with a word that originates from the Bible, the scripted words that teach us to be the person they want us to be. You know why? Because those scripted words, they are deceptions. People say there's truth in that Bible that they created to influence our minds with, but trust me, the truth that they want you to believe in that scripted word is the truth from the unnatural world that you were born in, the same world that you still believe in. But on this channel, we talk about that world that actually enslaves us in the time they created. On that calendar they schedule our lives in. You know, the one where Mag talks about mental slavery, but forgets about the physical slavery we actually go through every day.
About Mag is his brother, and Mag is a Freemason, teaching the people bullshit on YouTube. But take a look at this character right here, they call Pick Up the Truth. Look like a masked up character from Hollywood and the masses. And I tell you people, the only thing you get from these characters is just deception. You think they know something about truth? I want to tell you this right now, because
now Mag says I'm a masked up character wearing a silicone mask. Now right there, that tells you guys, I've been following Brother Mag for 2 years, and I know it's not one of the best decisions I've made in my life, because now I'm finding out that he is a deceiver, manipulating minds to make you do what he wants you to do. Okay? There's no doubt about it. We can see the power that the lies have over us. And for him to say to everyone that I am a masked character from Hollywood, wearing a silicone mask, he knows that that's an out and out lie. He does. Because it's just another scripted part of his show. A scripted part of his program for your mind. He doesn't care if you know the truth or not. The truth is, I'm a real brother in natural creation. I'm a natural brother in creation. I'm not labeled with anything that they deceive your minds with. And that's why I can talk to you honestly about truth and not get hung up on the lies that most people are programmed to believe in. I put my belief in nature, where I came from. My body came from nature. My energy came from nature. It didn't come from the unnatural world that gives me a birth certificate and a social security number. It doesn't come from the world, the unnatural world that enslaves me in time. It comes from nature. The natural world that time doesn't exist in. It comes from that world, and that's where I have my natural power from, because I don't choose to be labeled with any of those labels that Brother Mag wants you to believe in, like the word sodomite. He programs many brothers and sisters to believe in the word sodomite. And we have to look at the word sodomite. And it originated from Genesis 19. And in Genesis 19 it says, 2 angels came down. Well, let's read it. Let's go to the actual scripture. Now, Brother Mag gets the word sodomite from Genesis 19, Sodom and Gomorrah. It's a fictitious scripted story in the storybook of deceptions they program our minds with, and Brother Mag, he sees fit to take fictitious characters and program your minds with them in a repetitious fashion, and this is what he does with the word sodomite, which the word sodomite, truthfully, is a label that they created in this Masonic language, a label of hatred for the brothers and sisters that engage in unnatural sexual activities. And they use that label of hatred, and they program that in you. They get you to divide yourself from these brothers and sisters instead of trying to help them, trying to work with them naturally to find out if they have a problem in their life. They're going to divide you from that brother or sister engaging in unnatural behavior. And unnatural sex happens in nature, naturally. We see that happen in the animal, with the animals in nature. We see that happening. And so it's not unnatural in the least. We can physically see it with our own eyes. But they get us to label these brothers and sisters that engage in this unnatural activity, and they get us to divide ourselves from them in hatred. And this is all part of it. So this is how it tells you. I mean, the Bible's programming you with the word sodomite. And that's a label in hatred, based in hatred. And that is that from a fictitious God that you want to believe in? Yeah. I mean, this is how you know everything that they give you is a deception. A real deception to control the person you are. Because guess what? Real grown folks believe in these fictitious stories. Okay? Real men and women that want to consider themselves sane individuals believe in these fictitious stories that are actually scripted deceptions to get you to be the person they want you to be. Okay? But this is why we learn truth. Because sodomites originated from the city of Sodom. Okay? Because Sodom was the city, actually a border. It's the name of the unnatural borders they stole our land with, okay? And they get us to worship those names and call ourselves these names, label ourselves with these names, okay? because the people who lived in this city of Sodom considered themselves to be Sodomites instead of natural brothers and sisters that were created to live off the land that was created for them. See, that automatically steals that natural power away from you, and it gives it to whoever named that land. You see what I'm saying? You no longer have the ability to eat from that land. You no longer have the ability or right to any of that land because it belongs to the people who named it. And you lost your natural power to it. So that's an example of the power that this Masonic language has over us, especially when it's yielded in deception, because the deception has the ability to get us to believe whatever they want us to believe, and then they control our actions through that belief. Okay, because if you believe something that's not true, you're going to engage in that activity, and that's how they can program your mind. So that being said, let's get started in this scripted deception. Now, it starts off and says the two angels, if you want to believe that angels ever existed, even though we've never seen them in our entire lifetime. Okay, but we're expected to believe that they existed, which is a deception, of course, to get you to believe what they want you to believe. But they arrived at Sodom, which is the city that they stole from the people who were naturally born on it, because they named it that, took all their rights away, and now they're Sodomites. Okay. Now, the two angels arrived at Sodom in the evening, and some gentleman by the name of Lot was sitting in the gateway of the city. When he saw them, he got up to meet them and bowed down with his face to the ground. Now here we go. This is scripted deception to get you to feel less than these fictitious characters they call angels. Okay? They teach you to bow down. They teach you to pray. They teach you all of these things that deceive your mind. Now, it continues on to say, "My lords," he said, that's part of the worship, "please turn aside to your servant's house." See, he considers himself a servant, and they're his masters. Okay? That's where the brainwashing comes in. Put somebody above your natural self, because we were all created naturally and equally. These are the deceptions that get us to think otherwise. He says, "My lords," he said, "please turn aside to your servant's house. You can wash your feet and spend the night, and then go on your way early in the morning." "No," the angels answered, "we will spend the night in the square." But he insisted so strongly that they did go with him and entered his house. He prepared a meal for them, baking bread without yeast, and they ate. Before they had gone to bed, all the men from every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, surrounded the house. They called to the gentleman named Lot, "Where are the men," or the angels, the angel men, "who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us so that we can have sex with them." Now, clearly this is another deception they want you to be programmed by, because let's read this over again, and honestly ask yourself if you can believe this bullshit that they're scripting your mind to believe in. Now it says all of the men, not some of the men, but all of the men from every part, not some, but every part of the city of Sodom, both young and old, and then that means every one of the men, surrounded the house. And they called to Lot, and they wanted to have sex with the two men, unnatural sex, gay sex with the two angel men. Now, would you ever believe that brothers in natural creation, made with the natural instinct to procreate with the opposite sex, do you believe that all of them would want to have? Do you believe that the majority? Do you believe that half? Do you believe that a few might want to have sex with these? It's all a deception, guys. You can tell by the ridiculousness in the story where they want you to believe that all of the natural brothers in creation had the unnatural desire to have sex with these angel men. But it says, tries to make you believe it in this scripted story of so-called truth that we know is a deception to control your mind. So, let's continue. Now, it goes on to say, bring them out to us so we can have sex with them, which is ridiculous. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind him and said, no, my friends. Okay, let me try to read this. Lot went outside to meet them and shut the door behind them and said, no, my friends, don't do this wicked thing. And here's another deception that they want you to believe in. Number one, they want us to believe in a lie that all the men went out, and now they want us to believe in wicked, okay? Just because that's what they want us to believe. He also goes on to say, look, I have 2 daughters who have never slept with a man, so they're virgins. Let me bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you like with them. Now, does this sound like any father with 2 daughters that he has nurtured and raised as blood, as family? And he's willing to offer his daughters to where all these men can do anything they want to them. It would never happen, folks. That's crazy. Another program deception. And this is the Bible now. This is the holy book, so-called, that they want you to believe in. Scripted lies, that's all it is. And he says, let me bring them out to you, and you can do whatever you like with them. But don't do anything to these men these angel men that he hardly knows, but he puts above him and his family. See, that's what they want you to do. They want you to put the Holy Scripture, the scripted lies, above yourself. Okay. He goes on, for they have come under the protection of my roof. Get out of our way, the men in the road said, this fellow came here as a foreigner and now he wants to play the judge. We'll treat you worse than them. They kept bringing pressure on Lot and moved forward to break down the door. But the men inside reached out, the angel men inside reached out and pulled Lot back into the house and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were at the door of the house, young and old with blindness, so they could not find the door. So they want you to believe that angel men that you've never seen before in real life struck down every man, young and old, in that city with blindness. So they can wander around. Well, they can still feel, right? Wow, that is ridiculous deception. They want us to believe this story, these stories that they get you to believe in. Grown men and women, I can't see this. Okay, so it goes on to say, the two men said to Lot, do you have anyone else here? Sons-in-law, sons or daughters? Or anyone else in the city who belongs to you? Get them out of here. Well, that is a contradiction. Now, this scripted deception for your mind up above says that every man in the city, young and old, that means every man from every part, young and old, was at the house wanting to butt fuck these two angel men, have unnatural sex with these mothers. But how is that possible that these two angel men, did they make a mistake and forget? Because they asked Lot, this man that's protecting them, if he has anyone else here. Sons-in-laws, that's a man. Sons, or anyone else in the city. There wouldn't be any other man in the city, right? You've already said and contradicted the scriptures. These are deceptions, people. And he goes on to say, get them out of here. And it goes on to say, I'm not going to read this deception any longer. It's already contradicted itself, and we haven't even got through the entire passage. So we're gonna give up on this one right here and just call it out and out deception. But you see, this is the book that Brother Mag gets his label of hatred in, of sodomite. And it's a powerful deception because it gets you to divide yourself from brothers and sisters that may have problems in their lives. Of course they do, because they live in a world of deception. But they also get us to divide ourselves from these brothers and sisters that may have problems, that commit unnatural acts. So we might not be able to talk to them and help them, you know. Because these things do exist, guys. The way they deceive our minds and these unnatural things, they do exist. And the way Brother Mag wants to program your mind in these scripted stories, and at the same time he's trying to warn you about them, it's just not making sense. And he also pushes the programming of the sodomite and all the programming that goes along with it. And he'll say that people are butthurt. He'll say that you're bleeding out the ass. He'll say that you need a butt plug. And he does this to all the people that he has a problem with. He does all of that to keep programming your mind into this deception, this label of hatred that they created to program people's minds with in the Bible. That's why Brother Mag keeps pushing the transgender investigation. He's done all of Hollywood, mostly. But he's not stopping. He wants you to be consumed by these characters. He's not steering you away from them. He wants you to be consumed by these unnatural brothers and sisters. And at the same time, he's labeling you to hate them. But he's not telling you to stop supporting them. He's not telling you to stop being consumed by them and distracted by them. Why is he consistently programming our minds with the Hollywood characters? Why? This is why Mag, the bitter programmer, pushes his repetitious programming of the deception of sodomites to program your minds with, people. Control you through his deceptions. Mr. Darverio says, Mag, the best at exposing these agents and sodomites. He's programmed this brother to use the label of hatred that they scripted for him in the Bible. Let's see. Another one says, Mag, my friend, don't waste your time with sodomites. People in your channel, we know you are the only truth teller. See, he programmed, God bless family, that's what he says. So, he's got this brother fooled into thinking he's a truth teller when he's controlling his mind and deceptions. And no wonder this brother believes in him, because he still believes in the scripted God they program his mind to believe with in the book of deceptions. And here we go, another brother or sister programmed to believe in the book of deceptions goes on to say, Holy Mecca, that guy is one long migraine-induced narcotic dealer. All in hatred. There's no talking truth with these brothers and sisters. There's no talking about any of the subject matter. And this one goes on to say, all these sodomites programmed by the words they're deceived to be programmed by. By who? Mag, the bitter programmer. Let's continue. Switchy one goes on to say, we are laughing so hard his butt hurt over Angela Bassett. Another repetitious transgender investigation, distracting the people from real truth. The truth about how these Hollywood actors deceive us, control our minds with these deceptions. We all got duped. And here we go. Mariah goes on to say, I just looked for the sodomite on YouTube. I had to tell him to fuck off. I can't let that crazy fucker run the best Mr. Mag. One love, blessed steps. See, here you go. She's talking about love when she just spewed all this hatred. Sodomite, a label of hatred she's been programmed to believe in from her brother Mag. And then she goes on, she had to tell him to fuck off in hatred. I can't let that crazy, so he's crazy. Crazy fucker run the best Mr. Mag. She's programmed to have so much belief in the one that programs her mind in hatred. And then Choto, big boy, this guy is a clown. Mag, fucking idiot. This guy is a clown, Mag. Fucking idiot. I guess that's what he meant to say. Oh, should I play this small clip from Sister Macy? Maybe she'll get her. Maybe she'll get the family to run to YouTube to say I'm harassing her, to say I'm trolling her. Maybe she'll cry to the ones that she complains about, the ones she calls devils, because she's programmed to call brothers and sisters devils. She believes in all those unnatural Masonic programs to deceive her mind with, and she incorporates them to make her the person she is. Well, let's go ahead and play it. Let's see if any of the family punks out and gets me in trouble with YouTube. We'll know who's being true and who's lying now, won't we?
Okay, so the sodomite on the masses and
There you go. All division, guys. All division and hatred. That's all Mag the Bitter Programmer has to offer us. And this is only part 1. We're going to do a part 2, or how many other parts that we need to do. We're going to get the truth revealed. The truth that helps you become the person you naturally are, so you won't be deceived by these people that want you to continue being enslaved in this world you're still comfortable in. They want you to be enslaved in this world. They don't want you to learn truth. And it's obvious, because they keep teaching you in deception. But we're going to keep coming out with the truth. So y'all have a good night. Take care.